Hey boys and girls, in this video I'm going to show you how to make this really cool cityscape. I know we've done cityscapes before, but this one's different because this one is more 3D. I'm going to show you how to make your buildings so that they look like they're going back into space, and also you're going to be using concentric circles to make your background. And because we're talking about color this week, you're going to be using warm and cool colors. So before you get started, get all your materials ready. Decide if you want to use marker, colored pencil, crayon. If you have paint, you could use it. Paint might be a little bit trickier because you're going to have to wait for certain spaces to dry before you paint next to them. You never want to paint next to an area that's wet. Okay, so I used markers for this one. Markers, colored pencils, crayons are probably a better choice this week. Okay, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started. I'm really excited to show you this different way to draw buildings and to make it look more like there is space in your drawing. So you have some choices today. I'm going to use a black Sharpie to go ahead and draw my buildings and my background. If you feel comfortable using a black marker, go for it. If you want to have an option to erase, start off with a pencil and then go over your lines with either a black crayon or black marker when you're done. Also, you're going to have some choices for coloring it. I'm going to be using markers. Notice that I have them separated by cool and warm colors, but you may also use crayons, or if you want to, you could even use some paint if you have it. Okay, so how we're going to start off is, first of all, notice that my paper is turned landscape style. It is not tall. It is turned nice and horizontal and wide. That is important. So we have plenty of space for our buildings and our sky background. First thing you're going to do is you're going to make some arrow tops, okay? So it's like a triangle shape without a bottom, okay? And you're going to make them different heights. So I'm not making them exactly the same height all the way across. And try to make at least 3. You can make more if you want to, okay? When you're done doing that, you're going to go to the top, middle part of your arrow top, and you're going to draw a line. Try to make it as straight as you can. You can use a ruler if you want. That goes all the way down to the bottom of the paper. Your line should go all the way down to the bottom of the paper. Okay, now we're going to add some more parallel lines. Parallel lines mean lines that go in the same direction. So I'm going to start on the edge and do a parallel line. I'm trying to make the space in between these two lines be equal all the way down. Again, use a ruler if you need to. Kind of looks like the edge of a sword. Now that I have my 3 buildings, I think I want to add a few more smaller ones. So I'm going to go ahead and include a few more. I didn't like how those were so spaced apart with a lot of space in between, because it is supposed to be a city, and we know that in cities, buildings are usually kind of smushed together. They cram in as much as they can in that space. And I think I'm going to do one more right here. You can do as many as you want. Try to do at least 3. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add windows. Just like we use parallel lines for the sides of the buildings, we're going to try to use parallel lines for our windows. So you're going to go ahead and match the top of the window with the top angled line here. Match these to be parallel. Match this to be parallel, and then you're going to angle it down again. Okay, so the top and bottom of the window is parallel with this angled line from the top of your building, and then these lines on the sides are parallel, going in the same direction as the other. See how it all angles up? Okay, so you're gonna do the same thing on all your windows. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and you can follow along with me and do yours as well. Okay, now that I've drawn in my windows, I also made sure I had some doors down there too, okay? It's time to add the background and the sky, and we're gonna use concentric circles. Now, if you had me for art last year, depending on which class you were in, we talked about concentric circles. That's a circle that's inside a circle, like a bullseye, okay? So you're gonna decide where you want your sun or your moon to be, and you're going to make a smaller circle. I suggest not right in the middle. I think it's kind of interesting to have it be a little off center. If you need to trace something that's in your home to make that circle, go for it. And then you're just going to keep drawing rings around. Now, notice I'm leaving space about an inch at least, and when I get to the building edge, I'm stopping. Okay, I'm not drawing through the tops of my buildings. Sometimes I kind of pretend like I am, but I don't really. That got a little wonky, but that's okay. I think it's still gonna look good. And then you're just gonna keep going and making those rings. Don't draw through your buildings. All right, so now, wow, that is looking super cool, like it's really going back into space. Now it's time to add color. So we're using warm and cool colors. You need to decide before you start coloring if your buildings are going to be warm or cool. Because depending on your buildings being warm or cool colors, your sky is going to be the opposite. So I've decided to make my buildings be cool colors, and then my sky is going to be warm. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in my building first with my cool colors, and then I'm going to color the sky. Now, something that'll add more to it looking like it's really 3D is coloring a different cool color on the opposite side of each building. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. So this one's kind of like a darker green. So I'm actually gonna go with a lighter cool color to do the other side. And I'm gonna do darker shades of cool colors on the left side of all my buildings. So it kind of looks like there's a shadow, okay? Maybe you can try that too. Now, I think I'm going to use the same color for all my windows, just to give it a little bit of continuity or harmony, and it kind of helps to tie it all in together. I think, you know, when you are in the city, and especially at night, when you see the lights on, the color light coming from windows is pretty much the same. It's like a white or yellowish tint. So I'm going to use my green, since we're using colors. I'm not going to use a white or a yellow to stick with that cool color family, but to give it some harmony or unity so that it helps tie all the buildings together along with their cool colors. Okay, so now, boys and girls, I've used my cool colors for my buildings. I'm going to go ahead and use my warm colors for my sky, starting in the middle and working my way out. If you want to maybe arrange, I think I might try to arrange my colors in in some sort of order so that they kind of work together, like they kind of flow together. I think I'm going to do that. Okay.